Okay, the character I'm about to read is his name is Randy Waterhouse, and he is a massive, like, asparagus nerd, alright, throughout the entire story. And he's met this woman who's a treasure hunter. Dead serious. This is published in the late 90s, and despite the way I'm making it sound, it's actually not that bad. It's actually pretty good. But, to continue. So, Randy Waterhouse, has finally managed to get this woman to sleep with him. And let me find the beginning of the scene. I'll start from the full paragraph ahead. Bright light is streaming into the car and he thinks, roadblock, cops, spotlights. The light's blocked by a silhouette. There's a rapping noise on the window. Randy looks over and sees the driver's seat empty, no keys in the ignition. The car's cool and dormant. He sits up and rubs his face, partly because it needs to be rubbed and partly because it's probably smart to keep one's hands in plain sight. More rapping on the window, growingly impatient. The windows are fogged and he can only see shapes. The light's reddish. He's got a completely inappropriate erection. Randy gropes for a window control, but the car's got power windows and they don't work when it's not running. He gropes around the door until he's figured out how to unlock it, and almost instantly it flies open and someone's coming inside to join him. She ends up on Randy's lap, lying sideways on top of him, her head on his chest. Close the door, Amy says, and Randy does. Then she squirms around until she's face to face with him, her pelvic center of gravity grinding mercilessly against the huge generalized region between navel and thigh that has, in recent months, become one big sex organ for him. She brackets his neck between her forearms and grabs the cardioid supports of the whiplash arrestor. He's busted. The obvious thing now would be a kiss, and she feints in that direction, but then reconsiders, as it seems like some serious looking is in order at this time. So they look at each other for probably a good minute. It's not a moody kind of look that they share, not a starry-eyed thing by any means, more like a, what the fuck have we gotten ourselves into thing. As if it's really important to both of them that they mutually appreciate how serious everything is. Emotionally, yes, but also from a legal and, for a lack of a better term, military standpoint. But once Amy is satisfied that her boy does indeed get it on all of these fronts, she permits herself a vaguely incredulous-looking sneer that blossoms into a real... into a real grin, and then a chuckle that in a less heavily armed woman might be characterized as a giggle. And then, just to shut herself up, she pulls hard on the stainless steel goalposts of the whiplash arrestor and nuzzles her face right up to Randy's, and, after 10 heartbeats worth of exploratory sniffling and nuzzling, kisses him. It's a chaste kiss that takes a long time to open up, which is totally consistent with Amy's cautious, sardonic approach to everything, as well as with the hypothesis, alluded to once while they were driving to Whitman, that she is in fact a virgin. Randy's life is essentially complete at that moment. He has come to understand during all of this that the light shining in through the windows is in fact the light of dawn, and he tries to fight back the thought that it's a good day to die, because it's clear to him that although he might go on from this point to make a lot of money, become famous, or whatever, nothing's ever going to top this. Amy knows it too, and she finally makes the kiss last for a very long time before finally breaking away with a little gasp for air and bowing her head so that her brow is supported on Randy's breastbone, the curve of her head following that of his throat like the coastlines of South America and Africa. Randy almost can't take the pressure of her on his groin. He braces his feet against the floorboards of the sport utility vehicle and squirms. She moves suddenly and decisively, grabbing the hem of her left leg on his baggy shorts and yanking it almost up to his navel, taking his boxer shorts along with. Randy pops free and takes aim at her, straining healthily, he thinks modestly, in the dawn light. Amy's in a sort of light wraparound skirt, which she suddenly flings over him, producing a momentary tent-pole effect. But she's on the move, reaching up beneath to pull up her underwear out of the way, and then before he can even believe it's happening, she sits down on him, hard, producing a nearly electrical shock. Then she stops moving, daring him. Randy's toe knuckles pop audibly. He lifts himself and Amy into the air, experiencing some kind of synesthetic hallucination, very much like the famous jump in hyperspace scene from Star Wars. Or perhaps the airbag is detonated? Wait, shut up! I gotta do the paragraph over. You're gonna ruin it. Randy's toe knuckles pop audibly. He lifts himself and Amy into the air, experiences some kind of synesthetic hallucination, very much like the famous jump into hyperspace scene from Star Wars. Or perhaps the airbag has simply detonated? Then he pumps something like an Imperial Pint of semen. It's a seemingly open-ended series of ejaculations, each coupled to the next by nothing more than a leap of faith that another one is coming. And in the end, like all schemes built on faith and hope, it lapses. And then... I can't finish. Okay, I gotta finish.
Way to break character.
Alright, no, here's a good part coming. Alright. And in the end, like all schemes built on faith and hope, it lapses. And then Randy sits utterly still until his body realizes it has not drawn breath in quite a while. He fills his lungs all the way, stretching them out, which feels almost as good as the orgasm. And then he opens his eyes. She's staring down at him in bemusement, but thank God, not horror or disgust. He settles back into the bucket seat, which squeezes his butt in a not unpleasant gesture of light harassment. Between that and Amy's thighs and other penetrations, he's not going anywhere for a while, and he's moderately afraid of what Amy's going to say. She has a lengthy menu of possible responses to all of this, most of them at Randy's expense. She plants a knee, livers herself up, grabs the tail of his Hawaiian shirt, and cleans herself off a bit. Then she shoves the door open, pats him twice on his whiskery cheek, says shave, and exits stage left. Randy can now see that the airbag has not, in fact, and yet he has the same feeling of a major sudden life change that one might get after surviving a car crash. He is a mess.